Alright everyone, in the wake of the Dissenter app getting banned by Chrome and Mozilla, you know, off of their like app pages and shit, and it's like disabled by default and you have to do roundabout bullshit to use it. In the wake of that, people like, you know, the usual gang of goofballs like Will Sommer and Jared Holt and the right-wing watch crowd, they were all like, you know, smug about it. Which I don't know why you would be smug about it, since what you're doing is causing technological evolution. You're actually going to strengthen alt-tech by doing this. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Biological happens in biological evolution, happens way faster in computing. It always has, it always will. You're gonna lose. And you watch, these same people, once alt-tech in some form, whether it's these groups that have cropped up now or another epoch, another wave of groups, they're going to pretend that they were always on board with it, and they're going to scrub eventually all of their history of opposing it. That's what'll happen. They're going to try to cover their asses. You just watch. Give it 10 years or less. Basically, their app gets banned by their stores. Daily Beast comes out with an article that says, oh, the alt-right's favorite place to spread evil racism sort of stuff has been banned. Thank goodness for Mozilla taking a stand against that evil free speech bullshit. And it was really funny, and like they got ratioed, and then I responded, and like it was very funny on the tweet. Like, you know, you can see, so, and they've got supposedly 1 million people following their account. Yeah, I'm calling bullshit on a lot of these accounts' numbers. I think there's a hell of a lot bigger botting problem on Twitter than you'd think, and I think that some of those bots get a pass deliberately. As long as the person with them has a blue check mark, I have a feeling that it doesn't get scrubbed quite so often unless they're hand-picked for that. You know, like maybe a Ramsey Paul or something doesn't get the same protection the Daily Beast does. But it was very funny. I'm thinking to myself, okay, so free speech itself, like the very idea of being able to comment on things now is considered alt-right. Man, the alt-right is a very strange movement because they start out and they're supposedly like they're Nazis and stuff. But over time they've morphed and basically they want free speech and not to burn books and not to punch people randomly. It's a weird movement now, isn't it, everybody? Yeah, doesn't sound too bad, I suppose. I'm still waiting for all of this supposedly legendary far-right violence that, you know, supposedly it happens all the time, but half the time when you check into the statistics, religious zealots are wrapped up in right-wing ideology, and that's what's buffing up those numbers. When you split it apart, it's a little bit different now, isn't it? Very funny. The Daily Beast, though, has always been wonky, and I'm like, please stop habitually lying. That was my contribution. I'm like, what else is there to say? Like any fucking fool can look at this. If they haven't used Dissenter or Gab, yeah, if they're taking BuzzFeed or the Daily Beast or something seriously, they probably think that's like a den of Nazis. I use Gab. Are you going to claim that I'm... Well, yeah, they probably would claim that. I'm a libertarian. I believe in free speech, too. That's somehow a bad thing these days. Americans aren't supposed to believe in that First Amendment bullshit. It's even funnier when they then make the secondary argument. You're like, well, the First Amendment, the idea of free speech. Oh, the First Amendment only applies to the government. So you're a fascist, basically. You want private corporations, which are partnered with the government anyway. Don't fucking try to kid me. They're partnered with the government. You want private groups that are unaccountable. They're not even constrained under the law in most ways. You want them to censor everything because they have a monopoly. So the left these days... You support corporate monopolies, you support banning and burning books, you support punching people for their ideological beliefs. Who are the bad guys here? Have you bothered to look in a fucking mirror lately? These people. And it's funny because a lot of their leaders, they're from the same like creme de la creme, like gated community crowd, basically. The rich, the soccer mom kids, basically. That's basically where their leaders come from. And so they don't have fallout from the policies they themselves propose. They're like, well, we should be able to speak freely. Like, if you were to say, well, the Daily Beast shouldn't be able to, like, you know, do commentary on other media firms, like, oh my God, you hate the First Amendment, you hate the free press. But if someone's got, like, you know, a vlog or something, which is still an activity of the press in the most explicit and traditional sense, oh my God, we've got to do more about them because they said something that our corporate overlords don't like. I find it very funny when people can consider themselves leftists and they're basically fighting for a bunch of fucking billionaires. A bunch of fucking sellouts is what they are. The real left, like the hippie left, would completely chastise you. They'd call you a sellout to the man, and most of these people are over 30. Shit, I just realized I'm over 30. Hippies won't trust me either. Maybe a little, well, I did so many drugs in the past, maybe that extends it. Like, I can go till I'm 35 or something. Unbelievable. At this point, the clown world thing is kind of true, because like in the past when I was thinking about stuff like this, like the dystopian aspect of censorship, bad governance, war, it was more serious. Now I sit here, I find myself cracking jokes and laughing more and more about it. It's like it's so irredeemable. It's such irredeemable bullshit. It's such fucking stupidity from all of these self-proclaimed moral, like social justice people. They're just so dumb in every possible way. I can't help but laugh at them constantly. All they want to do is pretend to be like revolutionaries and radicals, while they're literally fighting for the same scumwads that, like, you know, the left-wing parentage sort of movements would have, they would have wanted to burn their skyscrapers to the ground. They would have said, well, one dude's like, you know, he's kind of extreme. He's like, well, I want to burn the world to the ground and start again. The other dude's like, oh no, I think that's terrible. I think we should burn it down and not even bother. Oh my God. You know, something like that. Yeah. And I can't even take it seriously anymore half the time. When I read, like, you know, through these news articles and stuff, when I see the stupid shit that's being written by groups like the Daily Beast, or Salon, or Right Wing Watch, or Vox, or Huffington Post, when I see, or in all honesty, like a Blaze or a Breitbart, and no, I'm not a Breitbart fan, by the way. Yeah, Broken Clock, just like Ann Coulter or Ben Shapiro at this point. When I read and see the weird shit that these people say, they've got to be out to lunch. Like, you know that a lot of it's pandering, but some of it is like, I think the people are in such an echo chamber they genuinely believe their own horse shit. Like, possibly the person that wrote this actually believes that Dissenter is like just for Nazis. The idea of commenting on the internet is itself bad because, you know, bad people do it or something. And so nobody should be able to comment. Like, it's the same as it was like gun control. After, you know, you have a shooting, instead of trying to address the underlying issues that caused the shooting, you just say, well, we're going to take guns away from everyone else. Or you'd think of on YouTube, like the commenting function. A handful of perverts are on the site being perverts, so a bunch of people lose commenting function. And so the average person that's punished isn't the pervert, it isn't the shooter, it isn't the person who's actually being violent or being like totally despicable, it's everybody else. And then these people who are trying to get these policies imposed, again, by the same fucking multi-billion-dollar corporations, wonder why people ignore them, wonder why people mock them. Oh my God, we're being mocked by Nazis, they would say. Now, you don't have to be a Nazi, you just have to be sane. You just have to have a little bit of intelligence to see that this sort of commentary is totally disingenuous. It's total tabloid hackery. That's about all. Peace out.